We can guarantee a knockout if we send this up. And that Fan of Waves is going to prevent what I just said. We are no longer guaranteed to take the KO on Galarian Weezing. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today we're taking a look at one of the best decks in the game right now, Suicune, Inteleon, Ludicolo. We'll take a look at my list for it. I'll explain how the deck works and why it's so good, and then we'll hop into some PTCGO gameplay. But before all of that, be sure to check out my sponsors, PotownStore.com, the best place to get PTCGO codes, and CardTrooperGames.com, where you can find booster boxes and single cards from the newest sets. You can use code Celio for 5% off at both of those websites. And also you can find all of my standard format deck lists, including the one in today's video, over at PokemonCard.io. And you can also use the site to create your own deck lists and share them with the community. So today we are looking at Suicune V with the Inteleon engine and Ludicolo. Where should we start? Why not with Suicune V? Suicune V is going to be our main attacker of the deck. Suicune V has 210 HP. It's a water type basic V Pokemon, which means when it's knocked out, your opponent is going to take 2 prize cards. But this trades pretty favorably against a lot of the popular decks that have V Max Pokemon in them that reward 3 prize cards. Oh, Jeez, 5 prize cards that reward 3 prize cards. Where'd 5 come from in my head? Oh my lord. Yeah, so Suicune V is going to trade favorably against these 3 prize Pokemon, and if 5 prize Pokemon ever come out, Suicune V would do pretty darn well against them too. So Suicune V has the ability Fleet-Footed. Once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you may draw a card. This is really simple. It might not seem like a lot, but just drawing an extra card, or even if you can switch out to another Suicune V and draw an extra card, that could be the difference between winning and losing sometimes. Suicune V has 1 attack, Blizzard Rondo. For water colorless, it does 20 damage. And then it does 20 more damage for each benched Pokemon, both yours and your opponent, for a total of 220 damage maximum in the current standard format against anything other than Eternatus. So if they have a full bench, it does 280 maximum instead of 220 maximum. Suicune V is a wildly efficient card, especially because it has the water colorless energy cost. So you can use water energy and capture energy to attack. So capture energy is going to be played in this deck as a 4 of, and Suicune has 2 energy acceleration supporters at its disposal. Melanie, since Melanie does attach water energy specifically to Pokemon V, and then also Raihan, which can attach any type of basic energy and then search for 1 card if something was knocked out during your opponent's last turn. So Suicune V is going to be our main attacker here. Ludicolo has the Enthusiastic Dance ability. When you play this Pokemon from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon during your turn, you may use this ability. This turn, your basic Pokemon's attacks do 100 damage more to your opponent's active Pokemon. That means that 220 cap that I mentioned Suicune has now turns into a 320 damage cap. And if you even want to include a quick shooting ping from Inteleon into that damage calculation, 340 damage all in 1 turn from this deck. You can evolve 2 Lotads into 2 Ludicolos in the same turn and use 2 Enthusiastic Dances, and your basic Pokemon will do 200 extra damage that turn. The abilities do stack, which is something worth noting. Our draw/search engine, it is a search engine. We aren't really using a draw engine outside of the Suicune plus Melanie type deal, but our search engine, the stuff that's getting the deck doing what it needs to do, fetching the cards we need to keep playing the game, the Capacious Bucket for the water energy, the Melanie to accelerate, the Evolution Incense to get the Ludicolo. That's going to be Drizzile and Inteleon, each with shady dealings. When you evolve Drizzile, you get to search your deck for any 1 trainer card, and when you evolve Inteleon, you get to search your deck for any 2 trainer cards. We are also running the other Inteleon with quick shooting that I mentioned. Once a turn, you can put 2 damage counters on one of your opponent's Pokemon. So that's just going to help fill out the damage where we need it to be. It is worth noting, and you will see in one of the games, that Inteleon and Inteleon can both be attackers as well. There's this kind of game strategy in Pokemon TCG called forcing your opponent to take extra prizes, or forcing them to play a 7 or 8 prize game as opposed to actually just taking the 6 prize cards on the board. When you make your opponent go through a Suicune V to take 2 prizes and a Suicune V to take 2 prizes and then a single prize Pokemon, and then when they only have 1 prize card left, try to force them to knock out another V Pokemon, to essentially take their last prize card and overkill, you make your opponent work harder to win the game. And you can do that here by using one of the Inteleons as one of your attackers, alternating between going 2V Pokemon, then a single Pokemon, then a V Pokemon. It's also worth noting that Lotad's Rain Splash for 20 and Sobble's Double Spin for 20 times the number of heads, so averaging 20 damage, they can be boosted as well by the Enthusiastic Dance. So you can even use one of these little guys as your single prize attacker to alternate and force the prize trade to be trickier for your opponent. Those are all the main cards of the deck. Like I said, this list and all my other standard format lists are on PokemonCard.io. If you just want a fast track net deck from me, pop it into PTCGO, trade for the cards you need, and get to playing. It makes it a little easier for you to do that, but feel free to change some cards if you want to and try some of your own ideas out for this Suicune Ludicolo Inteleon deck that trades very favorably against a lot of VMAX decks. So before we go into the PTCGO gameplay, just a reminder to subscribe to this channel for daily Pokemon TCG content if you do not already. And please leave a like and a comment. A like on a YouTube video goes a long way and it helps this video reach potential new viewers. So I really do appreciate that. And if you're looking for PTCGO codes, the place to get them is PoTownStore.com. And if you're looking for physical Pokemon card product, CardTrooperGames.com. Hope you enjoy this video, and here we go to the gameplay. We're starting first with a beautiful hand here against the Mew deck. Let's go ahead and start with a Fleetfoot. And should I have Capacious Bucketed prior to the Fleetfoot to not draw into energy? Well, I don't necessarily need energy this turn, but it is also good to quick ball it away. But the bucket could have been fine to leave in the deck in case of Marnie and stuff, since I do have attachment for turn already. But yeah, so let's bucket. Yeah, I'll have to think about that one. Maybe I should have bucketed just to not risk drawing into water energy so I can get something better out of it. And also, yeah, I think I should have bucketed because I actually don't need to play down this capture energy. And the thing is, there are some Mew VMAX lists that are playing Fan of Waves. So I think it's better with the hand I have to not attach capture energy. And we will attach basic water energy instead of capture. Play down double Sobble Lotad. We have 2 level balls, so we can get 2 Drizzles next turn plus the Fleetfoot. And yeah, so we'll pass. So yeah, that first play of the turn was suboptimal, using the Fleetfoot prior to the Capacious Bucket. The opponent immediately placing down an Oricorio that says their Fusion Strike Pokemon are going to take 20 less damage while that's on the board, and their Fusion Strike energy prevents our Inteleon Chilling Reigns from using Quick Shooting against this Mew. But the opponent is just going to use Energy Mix here. So we can do the base of 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 120, and then we'll minus 20. But then if we evolve Ludicolo, we will take the knockout. So we will level ball for Drizzile, so make sure Candy and Ludi are both in the deck, and we'll just need Evolution and Sense as well. So that's going to be game. We don't even need to Fleetfoot. We'll just go ahead and capture energy for turn and grab the extra Sobble, but it's not necessary. So yeah, we'll Drizzile for Incense and Drizzile for Candy. And I suppose I should have Fleet-footed because this isn't necessarily the game. This isn't necessarily game over. It's just a very commanding lead that I do imagine it will end in the opponent scooping, but I should have just played optimally and Fleet-footed at the beginning of the turn. So we'll go ahead and Ludicolo and use the Enthusiastic Dance to make our attacks do plus 100 this turn, and then swing for Blizzard Rondu 220 to knock out the Mew V. Okay, so the opponent is still going strong. Fog Crystal for Mew, capture energy to it, getting out another Mew, double Genesect down, sending out the one prizer this turn. And they're going to boss's orders. That's fine, because I'm just going to escape rope, and then they have to bring up a V Pokemon. So we will start this turn out the right way in Fleet Foot before we do anything. Evolution Incense could be great. We'll go ahead and Drizzile. For the rope, I also want to check to see if Sword and Shield Inteleon is in the deck. It is not. It is going to be prized this game. So go ahead and grab rope and check our discard real quick. More rope. They bring up a Genesect. Alrighty. Fleet Foot. You get a Marnie. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Plus the 20 base is 200, minus that is 180. So we will need to ping this once with an Inteleon. And we'll also attach to this Suicune. And I do like Marnie here, so we'll go ahead and Marnie. Looking for a scoop up net, but we didn't get it to pick up that Ludicolo. So we can reuse it again next turn. And then Blizzard Rondo will take the knockout after that quick shooting ping to get through the extra damage reduction that Oricorio has going on. Attaching another capture and then Peony, discarding their non-existent hand and searching for any two trainers they would like. I do have Toughness Cape on the active Suicune, which is going to add an additional layer of difficulty for them. So they got the Power Tablet. And they also got Evolution Incense to get them UV Max. And then they're going to draw up to 6 cards with the first Genesect V's Fusion Strike ability. Here's a Cramomatic. And they do flip heads with their beautiful Mew coin. So they'll get any single card they want. That's going to be a Power Tablet. So they can take a knockout here. And we do have game in our hand unbeknownst to the opponent. Since we have boss's orders plus energy plus the Chilling Reign Inteleon ping on one of the benched Genesects. Or we could even just capture energy out of basic Pokemon. We don't even need the ping damage. So let's see if we have basic Pokemon left. We do. We'll go ahead and capture that out. And then boss up the Genesect. Does 220 minus 20. So Blizzard Rondo will be enough. But the opponent knows it and they scoop. Going second versus a deck with Galarian Weezing in it. Could be a Galarian Weezing deck, or could be an Eternatus VMAX deck. Looks like it's going to be a Weezing Sableye type deal, though. My hand is pretty poor for going second. You get a capture energy. The thing is, if they get Galarian Weezing into the active next turn, I'm not going to be able to do much. But really, my only choice here is to capture energy for a Suicune V and either retreat and use Fleet Foot in preparation for not being able to use abilities next turn, or I could keep calling this turn and thin out the deck and leave Sobble out there so my Suicune isn't what is getting poisoned. I think I will keep calling. We'll just go grab, and we'll grab one Sobble. So going second this hand would have been better. I'm sorry, going first this hand would have been better because then turn 2, we would get to evolve Drizziles and use their Shady Dealings. Theoretically, if the opponent wasn't able to switch into Coughing and use Ascension to evolve into Galarian Weezing on turn 1, they're going second. Playing any sort of deck using the Drizzile Inteleon engine is going to be rough versus Galarian Weezing, but it's even worse when I don't really have much of anything in my hand. No buckets or water energy, no supporters as of yet. The opponent peers for Galarian Weezing and a basic dark energy. And my abilities are now turned off by the neutralizing gas. Sobbl's poisoned for 40. We'll get another Suicune. And what we'll do here is go ahead and grab a Drizzile and evolve into it and pass. So this takes the poison off and then they won't knock me out next turn. And we're really just buying time until we can get, you know, Capacious Bucket or maybe a Research or a Marnie. So there's the opponent having a Research to play, drawing 7 new cards. Level ball for another Coughing. Now if they poison this Drizzile, it'll go to 8 after the severe poison 4 damage ticks. Okay, so we take the poison and 10 damage, 10 HP left. There's a water energy, so that's something. What we can actually do now is just evolve up into this Inteleon. We are unpoisoned again, and we can waterfall for 70 damage. I could have also evolution incensed for the other Inteleon, which would do 120 to the Weezing and then 20 to a benched Pokemon. But I think this is better because now I get to save that evolution incense for a Drizzile later on. Searching out a boss, so they will presumably be bringing up a Suicune. And then from there, they'll hit me with the severe poison. Crushing Hammer gets a Tails, and there's the severe poison on the Suicune. We find a Drizzile, but that's not going to help us at all, so we'll just pass. Galar Mine won't hurt us because we weren't going to be retreating anyway right now. It could, however, affect us if an Inteleon or Sobble or Drizzile were to be in the active, which we would potentially retreat. Now, it would be a misplay for my opponent to try to switch into a different attacker and take the knockout now on Suicune, because that would allow me to use abilities, so I don't expect them to, and we'll see here they're just going to severe poison, which effectively does nothing because I was already severely poisoned. Now here is a capture energy, and I will attach to this Suicune, and I don't think the Lotads will be really important at all. Their highest HP Pokemon is Moltres V, unless of course they're playing the Crobat VMAX. It really depends if they're playing John Mustoi's list or my adaptation of it without the Crobat VMAX. But I will capture energy to the healthy Suicune and get another Suicune. Another boss's orders, bringing up a Sobble this time. They actually had me in a very good spot from their point of view, because my Suicune would tick up to 200 and have 10 HP left and get knocked out going back into their turn. So I liked where my opponent had me if I was them. So I definitely wouldn't have wasted that boss's orders. Now they're down 2 and they likely play 3. We're gonna go ahead and evolve here and attach here. So we get rid of the poison and we threaten attacking next turn with an Inteleon that we can evolution incense for. I suppose this is a great match to watch to get an idea of how to play your deck in a way that you wouldn't normally want to play your deck. You know, I'm playing with my Inteleons as attackers. I'm evolving the Drizzles and not even using Shady Dealings. A lot of things that aren't what you expect out of this kind of deck. Now we do draw boss's orders, which is going to be really, really good for me. Let's see what we have to work with. If we have Scoop Up Net, I would love that. We do have Scoop Up Net, so we can boss order up Galarian Moltres with energy. And then evolve this Drizzile to get Scoop Up Net. And scoop it up and send out Suicune, attach energy, play down the Sobble, and knock out the Galarian Moltres with Suicune. We could also Evolution Incense for Inteleon and get the Scoop Up Net. We can also get another card that way. So yeah, let's go ahead and do this. Well, boss's orders this up, so now we are not under the ability lock of Galarian Weezing anymore. We will go ahead and evolve this, search for 2 trainers. So we can search for Level Ball. It does seem that we've prized the boss's orders. So we'll get Level Ball for Drizzile, and with that Drizzile, we will get Scoop Up Net. And I think a Melanie could be good as well, but we're not. Yeah, we can go ahead and grab Melanie. Just use these abilities while we can. And we'll go ahead and Fleetfoot into a Marnie. So we do have roughly a 33% chance of drawing into a boss off of our prizes. I'm wondering if I should ping this with Quick Shooting. I think that's fine to do. And then we will go ahead and Blizzard Rondo, knock out the Galarian Moltres V. So we don't get the boss's orders. Looks like we'll be hitting directly into the Weezing at this point. And like I was saying, I do think we got kind of bailed out by the opponent's misplay of bossing up the Sobble instead of just leaving the Suicune out there. And I think that was a product of the opponent feeling like they had to do something. And that's something that I will see every now and again, where a player feels like they have to play cards. You know, like they have boss's orders, they haven't played a supporter yet, so let's just boss this up and switch it up and we'll spread the energy around. But really, I think it was fine to leave the Suicune V out there, or honestly more than fine. I think it was optimal to leave the Suicune V out there, because if I didn't draw into like Escape Rope or the boss's orders to start using abilities, then it just gets knocked out going back into my opponent's turn, which is really what you want. So here is a Fan of Waves followed by a Crushing Hammer, and the Crushing Hammer misses. But now this Suicune is stuck in the active, and I don't have much to do with it. A Level Ball and an Evolution Incense, neither are going to help me much at all. Looks like that is going to be a pass, because I am under the Neutralizing Gas ability lock. The opponent Dire Flame Wings and just passes, letting the poison tick another turn, and we'll pass right on back to them. And they'll have this Suicune in the same position that they had the last one, except this one does have 1 energy attached to it. Okay, so at 210 HP left will tick into their turn being knocked out, and I'll likely send up this Inteleon, perhaps. Fan of Waves doesn't feel too powerful to me. I'll end my turn. This Suicune is unfortunately knocked out. And we'll send up this Inteleon, I think, because this is tough. We can guarantee a knockout if we send this up, even though we'll be knocked out going back into their turn. And that Fan of Waves is going to prevent what I just said. We are no longer guaranteed to take the KO on Galarian Weezing. Galarian Weezing asserting its dominance with its neutralizing gas. I cannot use abilities, and it is looking pretty grim right now. I'll go ahead and bench this. And because of the poison, I'm never being knocked out during my opponent's last turn, so Raihan really can't be used. We just have to pass and let that be knocked out, unfortunately. And I'll send up a Suicune. They get a turn, and hopefully I can top deck Melanie. I think our one of escape rope could also help. Okay, there's severe poison. Our opponent has an army built up on their bench, and we top deck into a Marnie. So let's go ahead and Fan of Waves while we can. Bench a Lotad and Marnie. We find escape rope. That could be huge. Do I save it for next turn? Yes. Let's save it for next turn. Because we used a supporter already this turn. If we rope here, I imagine they will just bring up Galarian Weezing. But if we rope next turn, I mean, yeah, they might still just bring up Galarian Weezing, but at least next turn we threaten having a Melanie in our hand, so it's slightly different. But yeah, since they have 3 Galarian Weezing set up, the escape rope is very underwhelming. But our opponent is drawing too many cards here. Let's see how many Marnie they've played. It does appear that they are playing my list, so I can get a pretty good idea of the counts of cards in their deck. So they probably have 1 Marnie left. Okay, and there's a Crushing Hammer. How many boss do they have? They are down all 3 boss, unless they've added more to the deck. So I think I'll be able to stall them out until they deck out if they don't have their last Marnie. Even if they do, they are pretty low, so it looks like we're going for a deck out plan here. We'll go ahead and send this up. And there, we're just going to pass. The opponent went really aggressive with that research. They've been in the driver's seat this entire game, and that's really what Galarian Weezing allows you to do. Wasting resources has happened multiple times for my opponent between the boss's orders and also the research there. But let's see if they have Marnie. Oh, okay, they're going to start going in aggressive here, which could lose them the game. But we do have a very damaged Pokemon. Damaging themselves. Okay. Our Suicunes are heavily damaged. But giving us this turn of abilities is crucial. And it is because of their overextension with the research that we get this turn, but we're still not out of it yet. We'll need our one-off scoop up net. So yeah, we need a lot of good things to happen for us. We'll go ahead and thin out the deck before we Melanie, and there's nothing to thin the deck out of the deck. So we'll go ahead here and Melanie to the Suicune, and we do not get what we need. We have Raihan for next turn, and we know that they have no more boss's orders left, which is very important. So we'll go ahead and pass. Unless they are playing an extra boss's orders, that could always happen. Yeah, so Raihan wasn't an option for me there. If they bring up, they're going to bring up the Sableye. Oh, it would have been game over if they brought up the Sableye and knocked out the Inteleon with Sableye as opposed to the Moltres, because I can attack with a clean Suicune here this turn. And that is going to be trouble for them. It'll be top deck and energy. We'll go ahead and attach. This Raihan likely does nothing for me, but we're going to go ahead and quick ball this Drizzile away just to see what's in the deck. Do I want a Raihan? Do I want to do I want to research? I think I'll research. I'm pretty sure that as long as they don't have a gust effect, I will just win by knocking this out. And then but they would deck out anyway. I don't even think I need to win off of prize cards. We'll go ahead and Fleet Foot, and we are doing an even 200 damage here. We'll go ahead and Blizzard Rondo, take 2 prizes for the knockout. We'll see if the opponent has the Marnie. And then we will also see if we draw boss's orders. We do draw boss's orders here. But if they Marnie that boss's orders out of our hand, I actually think they'll win. All right, here it is. Is that last card Marnie? Do they have it in their hand at all? Or are they waiting until they were at 0 cards to play the Marnie? Or do they not have it? Potentially looking for some way to win if they can't shuffle their hand back into their deck. They have Bird Keeper, but that is not going to do it for them. And there's the scoop. So we end up winning by deck out. All right. Okay, so according to this mulligan, we are playing against Leafeon VMAX, and we are going second. 2 mulligan draws to help us out potentially a little bit. We don't have water energy, and we don't have a way to discard water energy, even if we had it. So it looks like at the moment we will not be attacking turn 1 with a Suicune. Maybe we could escape rope and use Keep Calling. That is a possibility. There's a Drizzle off the top. We're looking for water energy, and we're looking for Quick Ball if we want to take a knockout on this Sobble turn 1 if we escape rope it up, or even get some damage in on the Leafeon. But I do think escape rope is going to be part of the plan regardless of what we do. So let's start out with a Fleet Foot. We don't know where we're attaching for turn yet, and we get a Quick Ball, but no water energy as of the moment. So I could bench this Suicune and rope and draw again with Fleet Foot, or I could play it safe, level ball for Sobble and escape rope, and I think that's the optimal play. I actually should have quick balled for the Sobble, or perhaps not, because the quick ball is the catalyst for water energy. So no, yeah, the level ball was correct. Okay, we'll bench this and then rope, and attach I think we want 2 Suicune, a Lotad, and 2 more Sobble. So we will bench this Suicune, capture energy for Lotad. There we go. And then keep calling for 2 more Sobble. All right. So the opponent now has to get that Sobble out of the active, scoop up net, escape rope, switch. even energy attach retreat prior to them placing down their Galar Mine, which every Leafeon VMAX deck is going to be running 4 Galar Mine typically. I have seen some with 3, but it is a staple of the deck because of Leafeon VMAX's first attack. So there's Level Ball for Drizzile, and Drizzile's Shady Dealings is going to grab Evolution Incense. I think this is pretty safe for them since they know I cannot Boss's Orders and Melanie in the same turn, but they are going to scoop up net, bring out that Leafeon, and it looks like they'll be putting that Leafeon in harm's way. Possibly unnecessarily, unless they have Boss's Orders plus Galar Mine in their hand ready to go. And we know one of those cards is Drizzile. So they do have Boss's Orders. This is the last card, Galar Mine. No, they're going to bring up Lotad. All right, bringing up Lotad and Grass Knot to remove that threat. And I do believe we prized one of our 2 Lotad. So of course we'll go ahead and promote Suicune. And Drizzile for Capacious Bucket. And yes, we did prize our second Lotad. Play the bucket down. We'll go ahead and Fleet Foot. Quick Ball away in energy and grab Suicune. And from there, we will Melanie. Fan of Waves is not going to help us. We could scoop up net this. Scoop up net for Toughness Cape. Could be all right. And we are not going to be taking a prize until something else is knocked out. So it's okay to take up this spot with Suicune since our only Lotad available is in the prize cards right now. We could candy down either Inteleon if we really wanted to right now, but I don't feel that there's a large reason to. We'll be swinging in 160 with this Blizzard Rondo, and we don't really need quick shooting to help us out at the moment. If we need it next turn, we can always do it next turn. Because if we hit 160, that's 320. If they heal 30 with Max Sleeve, that takes it down to 290, and just one quick shooting ping would help us out. So we're just going to go ahead and swing with Blizzard Rondo, and our Suicune V now has 260 health. So even if they put out a Galar Mine, that would not knock out our Suicune with Grass Knot. So they will have to remove the tool or play it on a Tool Jammer, or just wait until next turn when they can get a Chilling Reign and Inteleon onto the board to take this knockout. The boss on our Lotad was actually really good, specifically because we prized our second Lotad. And here is a Center Lady, it looks like is going to happen this turn, messing up our math, but my opponent also doesn't really get into many more cards. Okay, so they're playing Crobat, so they can get into more cards, and getting another energy is going to be imperative for them, but they also add 20 damage that I'm going to be dealing because they did add an extra benched Pokemon with the Crobat. Energy Search whiffing, and just Grass Knot for 120, so they don't even heal on top of the Pokemon Center Lady. So the Pokemon Center Lady was actually useless because they filled up their bench in the meantime, and now we will get to knock them out if we just ping them one time, because we're doing 200 right now and they have 210 health on their active Leafeon VMAX. So let's I think we end up candying an Inteleon either way, regardless of which Inteleon it is that we're going to use the candy on. So let's go ahead and grab the Capacious Bucket and a Melanie. And again, forgetting to Fleet Foot. Fleet Foot is really an ability that just sneaks by me quite frequently, and that is a misplay every time you suboptimally use Fleet Foot out of order. So there I should have Fleet Footed to see if I get either the Bucket or the Melanie, because then I can just move on to a third best choice with Shady Dealings if I get one of those off of Fleet Footing. So we'll go ahead and candy this down because we do need the extra damage that will provide, and then go right on ahead and Capacious Bucket for both of the water energies in there. And we'll quick ball one away and get nothing because there's nothing in there, and then we'll Melanie the other, or Melanie the one we quick balled away and then attach the other, I should say. We'll go ahead and quick shooting the active, and now I will evolve this Sobble solely so it can become an Inteleon next turn, if I so choose for it to be. So we can just grab Scoop Up Net. And actually here I could Scoop Up Net this Inteleon, so next turn we can evolve a Drizzle and an Inteleon, but I feel like we don't need that many cards next turn. I feel like we're pretty established with the Chilling Rain on the board, double Suicune on the board already, both with 2 energy. So then we'll go ahead and Blizzard Rondo for the knockout on the active Leafeon VMAX. We actually could have still gotten the knockout even if they didn't bench that extra Sobble, because we could have candied down the second Chilling Rain Inteleon. But I do think that Sobble was a misplay from them, because it was quite hard for me to have double Inteleon or triple Inteleon really, plus 2 of them being rare candied down. And the opponent will go ahead and take that knockout with Grass Knot. And we don't have a Lotad on the board already because we did just take it off the prizes. So this Leafeon is not going anywhere this turn. But we can just about confirm we'll knock it out within 2 turns. Let's go ahead and Fleet Foot first and do this the right way. And then we will go ahead and Raihan to this Suicune. And we can just search. We can just get anything with Raihan, but I'm not even sure what it is we would need. We have Candy and Ludicolo in the hand. I think just getting a good card here is almost suboptimal, because then it could just be Marnie to the bottom of the deck. I don't think we really want to see Capture Energy at any point, so let's just grab the Capture Energy. We'll attach Water here. We'll go ahead and quick shooting the active just in case of healing that could happen next turn. Maybe they're playing a second Center Lady and they'll Max Leaf or a Cook or something. And we'll also go ahead and play it safe and have extra outs to search for things. So I will Scoop Up Net this Inteleon and bench this Sobble. So now we have outs from Level Ball and Evolution, and since if we get Marnie, that the Level Ball can get Drizzile or the Evo can get Inteleon. If we need to search for multiple trainer cards, we'll go ahead and Fan of Waves. So now that does remove Max Leaf as an option for the opponent. And they have 3 prizes, we have 3 prizes, but we win the prize trade here because we have a V Pokemon active and they have a V Max Pokemon active. So even if they were to use Cook to heal 70, we would still win next turn. So we don't even have to do much here. We do have the Candy Ludi in hand. We do have both Inteleons to choose from. We have more energy. We have Boss's Orders. But all we have to do is just promote and attack with Blizzard Rondo to take the knockout and win the game.